Hi, welcome to Gear Garage. I'm Zach. This is my little internet show about whitewater stuff. And today we'll talk about the kayak rock spin. This is just a move that I enjoy doing. I saw people doing it back in the day. I said I can learn how to do that because it looks fun. And through a lot of trial and error and asking people, I finally figured it out. So I want to share with you my tips for rock spinning. But before I do, I want to give a little caveat. I am not a kayak instructor of any sort. If you listen to me, you'll probably swim, you might drown. At a minimum, you'll develop terrible technique. If you want to actually learn how to kayak, please hire an instructor, read a book, watch a YouTube video. Maybe there's still DVDs, I have no idea. But don't listen to me. If you do listen to me, do it at your own risk. And if you're going to stick around, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me with the show, and I'd super appreciate it. So first of all, why do we rock spin? Like, what's the point of this? One is just to show off how rad you are. You know, you can tell people how rad you are on the shuttle ride in or whatever. You can say, hey, I just paddled, blah, 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 high water. I did Killer Fink Falls at 7 feet. You can brag about how rad you are, or you can just go on the river and do cool rock spins and people go, whoa, that dude/dudette is cool. And so it's just a great way to be rad. For me, I like to do it because I like to play the river. When I kayak, you know, on like class 2, 3, 4, I like to find rocks to boof off of. I like to surf. And rock spinning is a great way for me to just like test my mental ability, test how sharp I am. If I'm doing it really well, I know I'm paddling well. If I'm not, I know I need to kind of get my mental game back or my physical game back before I go paddle hard river. So for me, it's sort of a litmus test, but also a great way to just sort of like keep improving my technique. So let's talk about the how. It's pretty straightforward. It's all about the timing. And so, you know, I'm going to talk about it first and you can watch a little video. If I see a rock I want to rock spin on, it usually, at this point I just sort of recognize them. They're usually barely sticking out of the water. I take a few strokes to warm up, and right before I hit it, I take one strong stroke, get my butt under the rock, and as soon as I feel that, I finish that stroke, I rotate really hard, put my paddle in the water, and then just rotate around that paddle leading with my head. And then at the end, you have to finish with some awesome kayak or gang sign. So you can brown claw, you can church, you can shrig. I'm really into shrigging right now, so I don't know, I shrig, but whatever, do whatever you want. But you gotta basically give a little emphasis to how rad you were. Now, if you did a bad job, you just kind of have to hang your head down in shame and let people laugh at you. And a bad job is usually not that great. A bad job could mean you like paddled up on the rock, didn't fully commit, and then wrapped upside down in front of the rock. It's pretty bad to do that actually. Or you paddled up on the rock, started spinning and fell off the front and went head first down into the eddy. That's not always awesome either. You could also just like paddle up. Usually what I do is I paddle up, start it, miss, and then the water catches my tail, and I'm kind of doing like a weird brace, you know, to kind of hold on. And then people laugh at me, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I suck. But once in a while, I'll go do one, throw a shriek at the end, and it feels really good. So things to practice. How can you get good at this? How can you learn how to do this? First of all, you got to start like splatting rocks and just doing little boofs in the river. You got to kind of learn how to get your boat up onto rocks, and you got to kind of feel it under your butt. So I would go out and splat a bunch of things if you can, which splatting is just like putting your boat up against like kind of a steep rock. Find little rocks, kind of paddle up on them and come off. And then once you're ready to start doing it, I find like an easy shelf, like usually like a nice, easy piece of rock that's like has a little bit of water on it. I paddle up on it, kind of stall for a second, get my bearings, start spinning, and just slowly do it. And you know, almost every river has one easy spot you can practice. So start by doing it just really slow in a really safe place, right? If you go up on a shallow shelf, you're not going to flip upside down next to the rock because there's not a rock there. And so before you start committing to like rocks and things, you really want to get the timing down. And it really is all about the timing. And again, just to reiterate, this is where the timing comes in. You take some strokes, and then when you feel like you can get your butt up on the rock, you take that stroke up and immediately twist, which starts rotating the boat, shove your paddle in, and then just rotate on the paddle, leading head first, gang sign. So that is rock spinning a kayak. If you have questions, comments, I told you everything, so I'm not sure what else I'm gonna tell you, but you can leave them in the comments below. If you're an actual kayak instructor and you're like, Zach, you should not be talking about this stuff. You have no training, no expertise, you're a moron, stop doing kayak videos. You should leave that comment down there just so I'm reminded to not talk about kayaking and stay in my lane, which I'm not even sure what that is. But if I don't get any kayak instructors tell me not to do kayak videos, I might do more terrible instructional videos about kayaking, and that would just be bad for all of us. So that's it. As always, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.